Welcome to the Starting Monday podcast, the podcast for anyone who has a habit of delaying their health and fitness goals, who struggles to build consistency, or just doesn't know where to start. Have you ever said the phrase, "I'll start Monday"? If so, this is the podcast for you. Now, let's welcome the hosts, experienced personal trainers, and all-around good guys, Barry Stephen and Matthew Percival.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Starting Monday podcast. I am Matthew Percival. I'm here with Barry Stephen, and today we're going to chat purely just about Barry's nutrition. No, we're not. We're going to talk about nutrition. And Barry, how is your current nutrition? Is it good? You looking after yourself?
I would rate it about a 7 out of 10 just now.
That's pretty good.
That's all right, is it?
Yeah, that's higher than I'd rate mine. Mine's probably a 4 out of 10.
Well, we can.
So what do you do? Like, what do you do in the morning? Like, what's your breakfast? What's your go-to?
Go-to breakfast for me is maybe one of two things: poached eggs on toast or porridge.
Do you make the poached eggs on toast?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you have a bit more time in the morning than I probably do.
It doesn't take long to make poached eggs.
How long is it taking you to make poached eggs?
It takes, boil the water a couple of minutes, and 2 or 3 minutes with the egg in the water. Job done.
There you go. Sorted.
Make some toast.
Make some toast.
Yeah, put some bread in a toaster.
Yes, put some bread in the toaster.
You know how that works?
I would say my morning thing is a protein shake. Most mornings I wake up, 2 scoops of protein, 40 grams of protein to start my day. That's how I start it.
Sometimes I find that if I start with like a liquid breakfast, I'm super hungry quite quickly. Even if there's a good portion of protein in there. That's person
dependent, isn't it? So yeah, I've got some people I know who wouldn't want to do that, but for me, I'm not much of a breakfast person. So getting up and having something quick and easy is quite good.
Yeah, because you don't have to have breakfast, right?
You don't have to. No,
they do say, breakfast is the best meal of the day or the most important meal of the day, and for me, it's really important because I need it in the morning when I get up. I feel hungry. It makes me focus mentally a little bit better, and it just starts me off on my day. But for you might be different.
Starting off positive as well.
Absolutely.
Starting off as you mean to continue. I think starting with protein for me makes me very conscious the whole day of like, okay, I've got to hit my protein targets.
I mean, the only thing starting off with eggs on toast is that sometimes the protein content is relatively low. In comparison to if I have like protein porridge, for example, like oats mixed with protein powder and either milk or water, the protein content of that meal is generally higher.
Yeah.
So, I have to focus on maybe getting a little bit more protein into like lunch and dinner and snacks and things like that and other meals.
Yeah, like increasing it elsewhere.
Yeah.
As the day continues.
But yeah, I would say I would rate my diet at the moment about a 7 out of 10, which is, consistent, right? I'm neither trying to gain weight or trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to maintain. Yeah.
And I'm guessing you probably have 3 meals a day and 2 snacks, the staple.
I mean,
or do you have more snacks?
I try not to. No, I'll probably have 4 meals a day because I feel like,
do you? Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably have 3 main meals and a smaller snacky meal and maybe chuck in a snack as well. So yeah, I'd probably eat
I think I have
4 or 5 times.
3 meals a day and 2 snacks is my standard day. Yeah. And that spreads it out and I can hit my protein values and all that.
But you eat a lot more than me.
Yeah,
Like what? How much do you weigh, Matty?
Too much. Is that a good answer?
Just tell us your weight,
guys.
So people can understand the size of you and the size of me.
I currently weigh 105 kilograms. I the heaviest I've weighed recently is 108, but I'm maintaining around that level.
Okay.
How much do you weigh, Barry?
Well, I've not checked my weight for a wee while, but
you did your cut recently, so I'm guessing.
No, I'm heavier than that.
83.
Now. I'm heavier than that now. I would say 85.
85, okay. So I weigh 20 kilograms more.
85 kilos, yeah. And I'll go through periods where I want to get leaner.
Yeah, me too.
Generally, towards the summer months, I will try to get myself in better shape and maybe drop down to the low 80s.
Yeah. Last time I cut, I was 83, 84, and that was a while ago. That was about a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I cut again for a holiday. I was like, I just want to get lean. Again, I had a couple of weddings. I was like, I want to look good in a suit, so I cut for those. And I think I was 83, 84 kilograms, and I've been bulking ever since.
I generally don't go any higher than the sort of late 80s. I ate like 88 kilos or something like that. I try not to. Generally that's a more uncomfortable weight if I'm hitting towards 90 kilos.
You know what a hot topic is? This is quite interesting. So I would probably be the same. I think I bulked about 93 kilograms. I think a lot of people as well will probably be in the same situation as me, as lockdown hit, and that's where I probably gained the most amount of weight. I was 93 as lockdown hit, and then by the end I was 105. So,
and is that down to your eating habits, your living habits, or is that?
Oh, we're getting into it now.
Yeah,
I would say my eating habits over lockdown were atrocious.
Yeah,
to save me.
I think for most of us it was, and it definitely helped the fitness industry because we had a lot of people come back to us.
Yeah, true.
Overweight.
Yeah. Oh God, I put on
looking to
a stone
to get some weight off, which was good. Badly needed after we weren't working.
Yeah, it was a crazy time, wasn't it? A crazy time. I think people struggle to get their steps up and stay active. Yeah, but what would you say is a really good diet hack then? People trying to lose weight, what's a good diet hack for them to do?
Well, we want to help people that are maybe struggling to lose weight at the moment, and I know there'll be a lot of people listening that probably is in that category. And when I'm working with people, there's like maybe two key focuses. One is, getting them to understand calories. That could be through tracking their intake. It could be through just generally getting more knowledgeable about foods and reading labels and things like that. But just get an understanding that you do need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight on a consistent basis. All right. So, there's no point being in a calorie deficit for 2 or 3 days and then,
going out the weekend and drinking, eating, whatever you want.
You have to get into a routine that is consistent, and, you eventually that consistency will see you through and pay off. So we'll look at calories, but we also look at, introducing better food quality. So a good place to start, and this is not necessarily a diet hack, but, we've covered it a little bit in one of our first episodes, is, getting a food diary, writing things down on a bit of paper. You could go a step further and log into MyFitnessPal and, track
which
your
would
intake.
help because it would show you like your calories.
Yeah.
But not a necessity.
That would
Even a food diary, you can kind of like,
exactly.
You can track everything and see, you go, okay, well, I probably shouldn't have had that. I didn't need that. You know what I mean? And take things out that way.
Well, let's us see, have you got the basics there? Have you got, regular portions of fruit and vegetables? Are you eating enough protein? Are you drinking water? Are you wasting calories on liquids? Are you just not eating at all? And then,
binging in the evening.
Things like that. It gives us an idea as to what your habits are like.
Yeah, what your current structure is.
So I think like all our diet hacks or all our information that we're giving you have to like help you understand calories better, get into a calorie deficit, whether that is through tracking or whether it's through just generally eating better.
Yeah.
And also, bringing awareness to the types of food that you're eating, improving on the food quality that you're consuming as well, because that might help with improving your general health, your energy levels, your performance in the gym, for example. It might also help you into a calorie deficit if you're eating better quality foods. And one of the best things about maybe focusing on getting more fruits and vegetables and things like that into your diet is that you're going to maybe consume more food for less calories.
Yeah, true. Yeah. You can bulk it up with vegetables, etc. I think if you're going out and you're sourcing food and you're thinking about your meals, you have more planning around what you're eating as well. Like you are going out and going, I need protein. So where am I going to get that from? What meat am I going to go for? What veg am I going to have with this? Rather than people going out and grabbing quick meals, etc. So sourcing good food's a great thing, a really good thing. Yeah.
So my first diet hack, Matthew, would be food volume. Food
volume.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Fill your plate with as much food as you can for little calories.
So you're saying as many vegetables as humanly possible I should fill my plate.
That you could fit on your plate.
Yeah, just pile them up. It's a good hack though. It is a good hack.
It's because we want you to get that feeling of feeling full, all right? And enjoying your food And if say you make a meal that's like 400, 500 calories, and it's like a tiny little meal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a little salad or something. But you could go, you know what?
No, but if you have
lettuce,
well, if you have something that's like 400 or 500 calories, and it doesn't really fulfill you because you're still a bit hungry afterwards. Do you know what I mean? If you can bulk that up with like, some vegetables, a side salad, maybe some fruits, that sort of thing, or a bit of both, it's going to fill you up more. You're going to feel fuller. You're going to get the benefit of eating all those foods, and it's going to make your meal that little bit more fulfilling. And if your goal's 100%. Fat loss, you really should be focusing on eating more food. I know that sounds a bit contradictory.
Doesn't mean that directly, guys. Don't go out and buy loads of food.
Yeah. But understanding the types of food that you're eating for less calories. I hope that makes sense. It certainly helps. It certainly helps for me, and it's something that I'm more focused on when I'm dieting. I'll openly admit that my vegetable intake and my fruit intake and all that sort of stuff is so much better during periods where I'm actively trying to lose weight and I'm dieting. And
I would completely agree.
And then the periods where I'm maybe maintaining or maybe trying to put on a bit of weight. You can
be a bit more nonchalant, adding a bit here and there.
Be
a bit cheatier.
Well, you maybe go towards the more higher calorie foods.
Yeah.
But I think
you can get away with this also if you weigh 105 kilograms like myself. You can get away with a few things here and there.
That must be a lot of chicken breasts for you, Matthew.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not much of a chicken fan these days. But again, if I was cutting, I probably would be. It's a leaner meat, so I probably would be going towards chicken. But I don't eat much of it these days.
Do you eat red meat, right?
I eat red meat. I like fish. I like fishy stuff the most, I would say. Prawns. Yeah, I should have said that. Prawns, like squid, etc., that sort of stuff. I quite like fish food.
So would you have like fish one night, chicken the next, beef? Are you just winging it?
I wing it. To be fair, I work a lot. So I work a lot of evenings as well. So I'm a bit nonchalant with what I have, I must say. But I
you love that word, do you?
Yeah, I've said it twice, haven't I? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll
see if you can get it in a third time. But we probably wouldn't want our clients whose goal is fat loss to be winging it too much, right?
No, you need again, it's like, see, if I was losing weight and fat loss was my goal, I would have a lot more structure.
Yeah. I
would track personally, and then I would hit protein goals and veg, etc. I increase that quite a lot if I'm cutting weight, adding things in, getting more bulk.
Yeah, so I think progressing towards tracking calories is something that might be very helpful, in the long run. And maybe not having to track your calories all the time, because we know that can be quite
It depends on your personality type, doesn't it? What sort of suits you. Yeah. It's not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone.
But starting more basic would be my initial recommendation. Like we said in the first couple of episodes, look at where you're currently at. Write down the foods and the liquids and everything that you're consuming right now, and let's change one or two things.
Small changes.
All right. So I know it's maybe not the biggest, most amazing diet hack ever, but start by changing one thing. All right. And if you can get into a long-term mindset and not be so short-term minded, this will work for you. Do you know what I mean? But if you're just thinking solely about next week or 3 weeks down the line, then you're probably going to fall off the bandwagon.
Now, you make a great point, because I think a lot of people do think about the short term, don't they? They take their diet and they completely overhaul it straight away. Everything changes. But that's not really maintainable. In a couple of weeks' time, you're going to find yourself going back to old foods, etc. So a small change here and there, big difference.
Well,
big difference.
That's kind of why a lot of these diets get a bad name and they don't work in the long run, isn't it?
Go on, Barry, name one. Which one do you hate the most? Name it.
I don't hate any particular diet. I don't have anything against any. I just have my views on nutrition, and I always try and get people to take a more balanced approach. Think long term. I have clients that come to me and say, "Look, I've been trying this diet or this way of eating, and I don't shoot them down and say, no, you shouldn't do that.
Shouldn't really.
Because at the end of the day, we're all on our own nutritional journey, and they're going to make mistakes. It's best they find out themselves.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they always come back around to the basics, trying to understand calories a bit more, maybe tracking it to some extent, maybe not, looking at their food quality and building better habits. So I would always start off with changing as little as possible, looking at the basics, building in as many better habits as you can possibly build. For example, eating more protein, eating more fruit and vegetables, keeping yourself hydrated, looking at food labels and getting more of an understanding of carbohydrates, fats and protein, and how much is in each meal, that sort of thing, and just educating yourself.
People get shocked by a lot of things they eat on a day-to-day basis and just check the packaging and go, wow, that's how much fat's in there or how much calories are in there. Even for something quite small, you can be quite astounded by how many calories can be in that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by getting more food volume into your meals. Sometimes you can eat something really small for a lot of calories.
Like 400 calories for a small cupcake.
Some of and I do go and grab a sandwich from time to time, and that's when I look at the labels and I try and get like a sandwich that looks as filling as possible for like less calories.
Yeah.
So then I can have maybe one or two other things alongside it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But
there's some sandwiches or wraps there that are like close to 500 calories. I know I'll eat in about 30 seconds. and I'll want another one after it. Do you know what I mean?
He puts into MyFitnessPal and regrets it instantly. Want another one?
Well,
he's a 2-sandwich guy.
That's just another example of being mindful of the calories, understanding calories, and looking at labels and thinking about the daily intake that you're consuming without necessarily scanning it and tracking it.
Nutrition is very specific to you. The main thing, understanding yourself and what you're currently doing, will allow you to understand what you should do and what you should change and how you should get there. Yeah. Rather than thinking, I'm going to pick up a diet tomorrow for someone else that someone else has come up with, and then going, I'll implement this and I'll lose weight. Understanding yourself, your current diet, and where you're going to go, where you're going to change to get towards your goal. Yeah,
that's a good point. I mean, the only diet that's really going to work is the one that you can sustain long term. Yeah. All right. So I'll use myself as an example. Last year, I did a 16-week cut, and 16 weeks is quite a long time to be focusing.
Could you explain this cut more to everyone else? I don't think anyone's aware that you did a cut. Oh wait, did you do a YouTube video on this?
I did a few, yeah.
Yeah, did you? Did anyone watch them?
I think you did.
I did watch them, guys. I did watch them. They were world-class content. Highly recommend it. Get on YouTube. Go on, Barry. Plug your YouTube. What's it called?
It's just called Barry Stephen.
Okay, guys, go give it a watch. So how was your cut?
Well, like I said, 16 weeks is a relatively long period to be focusing on consistently dieting without too many breaks in between. So you have to make sure that it's enjoyable. You have to make sure that you can remain consistent with it. And for me, it was about eating as much foods as I enjoy. That making sure that 80 to 90% of the foods that I eat, I really, really, really enjoy eating.
Yeah.
So diet hack is, make sure you're consuming foods that you enjoy, learn to cook, learn to prepare meals, even if you can
if you can lose weight eating the foods you love, you're winning.
Yeah.
If you're making dieting miserable, like horrible, you're only eating just meat. You're a caveman. Exactly. To be fair, it's getting quite popular now, isn't it, this caveman diet? But let's say, it is for some people, but for a lot of people, think if I just ate meat all day, Barry, I would be a miserable guy to be around.
Well, we would all be that, would we?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. You need to have carbohydrates in your diet. Certainly for me anyway, I personally like to eat more carbohydrates. I know certain people like to eat more fat and less carbohydrates. Yeah. If you're going low carb, then you're basically saying...
What would you say the benefit of eating more carbohydrates over fat is?
Well,
what do you find for yourself?
Again, it's possibly an individual thing, but for me, it is about energy levels, getting more out of my performance with training.
Yeah.
I need the carbohydrates in my diet, and I know this from experimenting with different ratios of carbohydrates and fats. It works better for me, but also I just really enjoy eating rice, potatoes, pasta, bread, these type of foods.
He's an Italian at heart / Irish.
And there's
potato and bread.
There's no real reason for me not to eat these foods. I've got myself down to extremely low body fat levels eating a high carb diet. So
yeah, I think
works for me.
Yeah, higher carbs better. It keeps you more energetic, right?
It makes the meals a little bit more interesting as well. If you're eating a high fat, low carb, I tend to find that the meals are a little bit harder to make.
I would say less volume. You don't really get the same amount of bang for your buck, do you?
Yeah. But alongside that, prioritizing protein. We've talked a little bit about carbs and fat there, but for me doing that cut, I was making sure that I was prioritizing protein with all my main meals. Making sure protein was present in breakfast, like we spoke about, lunch, dinner, snacks, and just getting to what is my personal protein target.
I prioritize protein all the time, even when I'm bulking. But if I'm cutting weight, it's my main focus. So every meal I get a large amount. Well, not a large amount, but I get my protein source first, and I build my meal around that.
Yeah, and I know you're not dieting, Matthew, but I would argue that being focusing on your protein is more important when you actually are dieting, when you're in a calorie deficit.
It is, yeah. Completely agree.
Just helping you maintain your muscle mass. But not only that, but protein takes longer to digest in the body than carbohydrates and fats. So we're potentially burning more calories digesting that food, and it also fills you up more, like you just said there. So we want to be feeling fuller for longer because we're going to consume less food.
Without sounding nerdy, for everyone who's beginner to advanced, if you are cutting weight, your protein should always be higher, because you are losing weight. So your body's going what we call catabolic. So the goal would be using fat as a fuel source. It can use protein as a fuel source, so your muscles as well. So you tend to have a higher protein diet as you're cutting. So as we're saying this, your protein should be a main focus for, especially if you want to lose weight, to maintain that muscle mass. You want to have that toned look, don't you? You want to look a bit lean rather than just skinny.
Hench.
Yeah, that's what you want. How much protein do you eat a day, Barry? What do you currently have?
Well, I'm not tracking exactly what I'm eating, but I'm just going through experience, if anyone out there is wanting to know roughly how much protein they should be consuming if they were tracking it, etc., I think the guidelines are like 1.6 to 2.2 grams is a rough indicator for like an average person, right? And going a little bit higher if you train a lot, and going a little bit lower if you don't train a lot.
Again, it's understanding yourself. So if you've taken a food diary, and your protein's at say 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, you just look at that and then start trying to increase that. We're not saying go out and now eat 1.8 grams per kilo body weight.
No.
But ideally in those ranges is a good thing. I verge to about 2 to 2.2 myself. I'm in that range.
Well, it goes back to making small changes. So if you aren't actually eating a lot of protein at all, and your goal is to lose weight, and you've just filled out a food diary, and you've just noticed that, you maybe have like one meal in the evening that's got 20 or 30 grams of protein, the rest of it is pretty low. Don't look at these statistics and think, I need to shoot heaps of protein into my diet. Just start by eating a little bit more and build yourself up to it. And not, don't overwhelm yourself with certain things. That all these tips and tricks that we're suggesting are just small, simple things.
Yeah, small changes you can make.
I mean, even little simple diet hacks that we should really be covering are things like try and avoid liquid calories. All right.
Yeah, liquid calories. Yeah, it's a big one.
I know it sounds silly, but like if you're consuming a lot of calories through your liquids, you're struggling right from the get go. And I'm talking about like non-alcoholic stuff to begin with, but also if you're trending that you're going out a lot of the weekends and you're consuming a lot of calories through alcohol, you might want to consider curbing that if you want to achieve fat loss. Or even small
changes. Yeah, you could like look at using. God, we're telling everyone to go out and drink now, but like if you're having like beer, etc., you can look at like spirits, right? You can go to like vodka and all that sort of stuff. It is lower calorie, guys. It's going to save you some calories, but we're not condoning drinking.
It comes back to episode 1, understanding why you're doing this in the first place, right? If you can connect with the why, and that is more important than going and getting smashed at the weekend, then you will focus on that goal. If it's not more important, it's not a priority, then go and enjoy your night out, go and get smashed at the weekend, but don't expect to step on the scales week after week and see
and that weight
progress.
coming down,
All right. You have to make changes if you want to see progress. Look at all the red flags. If alcohol or liquid calories or fizzy juice or something like that is a red flag, then it's something that you need to address.
And I would say the more you lose weight, the leaner you get, the more sacrifices sometimes you have to sort of make. You've been very lean, and I'm sure you had to make a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah, good point.
You quite like a beer now and again. Were you drinking when you cut to compete?
No. And that's probably why I would never do bodybuilding again, because
I need a beer on the weekend.
Yeah, no, because I don't want to put myself through that type of stress, to be honest with you. And hats off to bodybuilders that are really passionate about the sport and put their bodies through that on a yearly basis. But it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You've got to sacrifice a lot more than just a general diet. All right, you've got to really, really sacrifice, and it's not something.
Yeah,
that
people don't realize that bodybuilders, like, go out for a meal, they can't really enjoy themselves as much as they'd like to, or they can't go out on the weekend with their friends and have a drink, or catch up over a pint. It's not really going to happen. I don't think so. And I think that's what it was like for me, and I'm sure that's what it's like for the majority. But for the general dieter, like we said, we want to make it enjoyable. We want them to be able to include all these different foods and go out and have a beer and have a drink and stuff like that. But you have to know that staying accountable, understanding why.
Yeah. And doing it sensibly, understanding that calories are really important. So if this is a issue for you, then you need to address it. Similarly, if your issue is something different, like binging on crisps and chocolate and things like that, then again you need to address it.
That
maybe by eating higher levels of protein throughout the day, getting more fruit and vegetable, and getting more bigger volume of foods into your diet might help you snack less.
It's also like trigger foods, isn't it? Like, people have foods that, like, for example, I won't buy certain foods these days because I will demolish them. Oh, yeah. Crisps being one. Yeah. I don't buy any crisps. Do you buy crisps?
I
you got kids.
I don't buy.
It's gonna be crisp in the house. There's going to be crisps.
I can't go anywhere near a box of Pringles. Like, no, go on. It's the smell of it, and that's me gone. I'll eat the whole box. So, if there is a trigger food there, then my advice is just get it out.
Don't have it.
Just kick
crisps,
it out the front door.
Ben & Jerry's ice cream are my thing, and I don't buy them at all, guys. So I've sacrificed because I will eat a tub. But
a good diet hack then is to find low calorie substitutes for some of the things that you like. And you can get a lot of like lower calorie crisps. I know they're maybe not as nice as
popcorn. You can go to popcorn, etc.
Popcorn was something I substituted big time when I was dieting for.
I'll tell you, people who are ice cream lovers, because this is me, I do like an ice cream. I have the Twisters now.
Yeah,
they're about 40-50 calories. Love a Twister. One, and it's like they're nice. They're enjoyable.
You can get some like lower calorie ice creams, higher protein.
Yeah, there's
ice
some
creams,
great ones out there these days.
Yeah,
just don't buy tubs. It's too much temptation.
But that's something that'll definitely be something that you'll go looking for if you're committing to your diet. You'll find lower calorie substitutes. Another good diet hack is reducing the amount of condiments you use. I don't know about you, Matthew, but in our house we go through gallons of tomato sauce.
Gallons of
it's like on everything.
I prefer sweet chili sauce personally,
but like if you want to cut calories, maybe like even little things like that.
Noticing that,
goes a long way. Cut back on that, or find the lower calorie substitutes.
Well, you get into that, you get into oil, etc. Using oil in your pans. There's 0 calorie spray these days. There's lots of options. Even using less of it could be a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, these are little things that they're not going to make huge changes to your to your physique if you don't have the basics in play. You know what I mean? If you don't have the basics in play, these things aren't really going to do much. But if you have the basics in play and you start adding these things in, then that's going to accelerate your progress a little bit, I would say. But talking about basics, setting some non-negotiables, and I know we talked about this already,
we went through it.
Is a fantastic place to start building better habits. So if you don't have good habits, setting non-negotiables, like we said before, set amount of water per day, set amount of hours per sleep per day, how many grams of protein. You're not going to eat less than per day. These things can
make a big difference.
Yeah, and that could be your focus. Just be like setting non-negotiables, steps, etc., and just ticking them off day by day, trying to build in better habits into your diet. And before you know it, you've probably built a better quality diet than you had before, eating less calories as well.
Yeah. And a non-negotiable we both have is we both get protein for our breakfast, don't we?
Absolutely.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Every day.
That's a total non-negotiable. And
to be fair, it's a non-negotiable I don't even think about anymore. Every day I have to get protein in my breakfast. I wouldn't start my day with something that wasn't protein-based. I would have to have something protein-based every day.
And you probably wouldn't leave the house without brushing your teeth, right?
I don't know. I do brush my teeth. I've got a nice electric toothbrush. Do you brush your teeth, Barry?
Only on a Tuesday.
Only on a Tuesday?
Yeah. I like to just...
To be fair, your breath doesn't smell that bad for a guy who cleans it once a week.
No, obviously I brush my teeth. I don't have an electric toothbrush, though.
Do you not? Are you manual?
I can't stand them.
Not that anyone cares, but I had to. I overbrush. I'm an aggressive brusher.
I think I am as well, actually.
Yeah, it's bad for your gums, Barry. You should stop that. Get an electric toothbrush. Good investment.
But the point is that it's a non-negotiable. You would not leave the house without brushing your teeth, right? Set more non-negotiables into your day that you stick to.
There's one point Barry hasn't got into that he has talked about before, and it is quite interesting.
Oh no!
Your leftovers for lunch.
Yeah. So if we're cooking a meal at night, which is obviously quite frequent, just cook that a little bit more so that you've got something to take to work the next day.
Barry's basically saying if you eat anything at dinner, you can eat it for lunch the next day.
Within reason.
Within reason. So Domino's, 2 for Tuesdays, 2 large pizzas.
Yeah.
Bring the second one in tomorrow for lunch.
Yeah,
don't do that.
That's not kind of what I was thinking, right?
No, you're more thinking homely cooked meals.
Yeah, because preparation is a big thing. So, Matthew, you've came to me. You want to lose weight. I want to help you understand more about calories. I want to get you eating a better quality food. I want to help you build better habits, setting those non-negotiables. But I want you to stay prepared. I want you to be prepared and know the foods that you're maybe going to consume tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Like planning.
Yeah. I'm gone are the days where we write out a specific diet plan and say, you've got to eat this, and this.
You need 150 grams of chicken at 2 p.m.
It's too rigid. It's not realistic. It's not something that we want you to really fully focus on. But we do need you to be prepared. We do need you to think about the foods that you're eating the next day. Otherwise, you're just going to wing it and you're probably going to fail.
Yeah, and make bad choices. Something easy, something quick. Yeah. And you're aware of what you're going to have. You're prepared to have that. You're going to get home and cook that. Simple. Rather than going to the shop last minute and going, oh, I need something. I only have blah, blah, blah. I'm out of time.
100%. And I see all the guys that work for me here. They all come in with their food prepared. Usually it more or less looks like leftovers from the night before. Keep it easy. Keep it simple. You don't want to be spending hours cooking. Do you know what I mean?
I'm laughing because the people who I work with will see me just go to Morrison's like 5 times a day.
So you're not prepared, right?
I'm not prepared, guys. I'm not prepared. But I adapt. I'm very good at understanding what I can eat and can't eat. And then I do track my protein, etc. So I'm a bit of an off the cuff sort of guy.
And that's good as well. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I adapt as well. And if I go to the super, if I don't prepare foods for the next day, then I've obviously got to go out and find food.
But it's also the point that that the structure, you can be a bit more unprepared at the same time, as long as you're educated and you're aware of what you're having.
Yeah.
That structure can change.
You'll find that you've got go-to foods in the supermarkets that are healthy and work to your calorie targets.
Yeah, and you'll come with ideas. Okay, well, if I'm having a lunch, I'm going to Marks and Spencer's, what can I get that's going to get me that protein target? Mm-hmm. And you're educated in that now. So rather than you going in and just grabbing something hot, eating it, you're able to go in and go, yeah, well, that's a good choice, that's a good choice, that's a good choice.
Yeah, so, I mean, hopefully, guys, we have kind of rambled away, but we've covered...
Hopefully you found it interesting. You took something away. Maybe you've you've took something away from this.
Yeah, I mean,
apart from the Domino's bit.
To sort of recap it a little bit, Matthew, our diet hacks are things like find low-calorie substitutes, start by changing little things, one thing at a time. You've got to get in that long-term mindset, set non-negotiables, which will help you build better habits, keep it really, really simple. Avoid liquid calories, all right? Get all your calories from solid foods, or as much as you possibly can. Make your diet as enjoyable as you possibly can. If it's enjoyable, you're going to be sustaining that diet for longer. Prioritize protein. Am I missing anything here?
No, you're spot on. I think you made the main ones are there.
Definitely focus on high volume foods.
And it's the main takeaway is understanding you, I think. You as a person, what you enjoy, and then making those small changes that will really improve your diet, get you towards your weight loss.
Yeah. And if you do that, and if you take on board some of these little pointers, it will get you started. It will get you started.
And there's all absolutely shredded in the next 3 weeks.
It'll get you started, and you'll start to see progress, and then you can build it from there. But just remember that your knowledge improves through time and trying different things. And you know, if you are following certain diets and that haven't worked in the past, it doesn't mean to say that you're a failure and you failed, etc. I've done lots of different things as well, and my knowledge has improved every single time, and it's got me to a place where I can make better decisions and make progress without really thinking about it.
Yeah. We all know the saying, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Absolutely. So on that note, we're going to finish. We're 35 minutes in. It's been great speaking to you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Starting Monday podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to follow us and share with your friends. Have a great day, and see you at the next episode.